Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Total War Warhammer 3 Legendary Lord lore video. And today we are going to be talking about Astragoth. Astragoth, the High Priest of Hashut, the greatest living sorcerer of the Dawizar. Feared and venerated in equal measure, it was said that when he was at the height of his powers, he was the most potent sorcerer to walk the plain of Zarduk in 1,000 years. Those days are long gone, however, as his body gives way to the curse that besieges all Dawizar sorcerers. After many centuries of magical labors, the power that courses through them surely and inexorably turns their bodies to stone. The pace of the change is slow, but once it begins, their fate is sealed. Astragoth has begun to succumb to this petrification, starting in his legs, as it often does in these cases. Astragoth, however, decided he would not suffer the indignity of being carried around by his followers, as many other sorcerers were forced to when struck down by this accursed condition. Instead, he decided to use his ingenuity and put all his knowledge of the dark magics and metalwork to use, creating plans for a mechanized exoskeleton the likes of which had never been seen before. His slaves and followers toiled to make his plans a reality, and so it was around the year 2483 of the imperial calendar, some 17 years before the coronation of Karl Franz, Astragoth stepped into his construction of metal and magic, gaining the moniker Astragoth Ironhand. His legs had long since ceased to work, and even his hands had now turned to stone, but his new construct was not just built for day-to-day mobility. It was designed to be a tool of war, allowing Astragoth to move faster than any dwarf and put the full force of devastating mechanical pistons behind his every strike. From a martial perspective, he is more dangerous on the battlefield than he was before petrification took hold. Although his magical abilities have waned, he is still a potent magic user, perhaps still the most powerful among the Dawizar, and at least for now, he is able to maintain his power and position in the Council of Sorcerers, keeping his most ambitious cohorts at bay, at least for now. Chief among these challengers to his position are Goroth the Cruel, considered by many to have already surpassed Astragoth in his current state, and with his vicious dog, Zlatan the Black, on his leash, is a foe that Astragoth can't afford to underestimate. As well as Drazoth the Ashen, a young upstart he thought he'd dealt with long ago when he was banished to the Black Fortress. Facing all these challenges, will Astragoth be able to maintain his position of prestige among the Dawizar? Looking at Astragoth on the tabletop as he used to play, he of course is encased in his new exoskeleton, which gave him a fantastic 3+ armor saving roll in the old rules. And in terms of his movement, as I said, the suit allows him to move faster than any dwarf, but it did come with a downside on the tabletop in terms of the fact that he couldn't charge as far as other units necessarily. Where other units would get a 2d6 charge, he would have to just get a 6-inch charge flat, and that would be the price he'd have to pay for moving faster normally. Also, with the mighty blows his suit would enable him to do, he was given the ability Death Blow, whereby the steam-driven pistons that had replaced Astragoth's muscles and sinews allowed him to strike his enemies with mechanical force, as well as boosting his strength. It's the idea that he'd sort of go into this weird overdrive, pounding, smashing, and stabbing faster than flesh and bone would permit. If all 3 of his attacks hit, he'd get to roll another 3 attacks, potentially doubling his attacks. Very fun little ability there. He of course wasn't able to ride any beasts or mounts because he had his exoskeleton on, and he was a level 4 wizard. So a powerful character for the Chaos Dwarves is Astragoth. There's a slight lore conflict in terms of exactly how powerful a magical user Astragoth is currently. In the old army book, it describes Goroth as the most powerful user now. Goroth, who is of course the master of Zlatan. Goroth was described in that book as being the most powerful sorcerer the Chaos Dwarves have. But later, in the Tamarkan book, which was the next time anyone kind of picked up Chaos Dwarf lore, it redescribes Astragoth as being the most powerful living sorcerer of the Dawizar. So it's a little bit up into interpretation. Maybe it's not really known. It's one of those things that are hard to measure. Maybe it's Goroth now, maybe it's Astragoth. Who's to say who is the current most powerful living sorcerer of the Dawizar? But something worth bearing in mind. And that is it for Astragoth, ladies and gentlemen, a living legend amongst the Chaos Dwarves. I hope you enjoyed the video. Do consider joining the channel or subscribing to catch more lore videos coming at you weekly. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, and I hope to catch you all on the next one. Bye.